The Bert Show.
Time to get buzzed on the hot goss from Hollywood with Abby. It's the Bert Show's entertainment buzz.
The man starring in Michael Jackson's biopic has no major film or TV creds on his roster, but he's not totally new to the industry, and he's not even totally new to the Jackson family because Michael Jackson's nephew is going to be starring in the biopic that comes out in April of 2025. So it's going to be called Michael, and it's set to be released on April 18th, 2025. It starts production next week. Graham King from Bohemian Rhapsody is producing it, along with the co-executors of Michael Jackson's estate. It's going to be a, quote, riveting and honest portrayal of the brilliant yet complicated man who became the king of pop. I actually saw a podcast interview with his son, Prince Jackson. He apparently was a part of the process, and he gave his stamp of approval on the Hot Boxin' podcast.
So what was interesting for me, I spent a lot of time speaking with Graham about the man that I knew as my father, which is not the king of pop, is not, the Michael Jackson. It was daddy to me. And he went and he met with all these other people who, from my family members, his brothers, my uncles, to people who toured with him, traveled with him, worked for him. And after I read the first draft of the script, I called him because I was crying afterwards. I told him that he had the most authentic picture of my father. And I learned a lot. Not that I learned anything new about my dad, because it was all the iconic moments, which is very difficult to do, right? There's so much history.
You probably never knew everyone else knew that.
Yes. And the person that I knew, it kind of was like a light bulb for me in the sense that it put into effect how the man that I knew was the way he was because of his whole life story.
I feel like it's got to be bittersweet as the son of somebody who's now passed. You kind of get to relive all these moments that you weren't around for. So it's exciting that you get to, in some way, be a part of it. But I can imagine it's going to be kind of hard to see him on set.
Sure. I'm just trying to think of a scenario where, like, if this was accessible to everybody, right, that you could see the movie of your parents' life, would you want to see it or not? I would. My dad and I were estranged for a really long time, so I don't know why he's as screwed up as he was. But I would really like to see that movie and find out where my grandparents jacked him up. But would you guys want to see that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it would just give, and like you said, an incredible insight. I mean, I have a great relationship with my parents and my dad who's no longer with us. So to see his upbringing in Dayton and what he went through in Vietnam, that would be incredible.
Sure.
It's going to show everything, all the good, all the bad, all of it. I don't think so.
No.
Nah.
No sex scenes, though. You won't see the moment you were conceived.
Okay, that's good. For some odd reason, I think it would be easier to watch of my dad's life, but not my mom's life. I know my mom been through a lot of things I wouldn't want to know or I have to rewatch.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it.
Okay.
I just think my parents' life would be kind of boring to watch. My parents both grew up in the suburbs. They just went to school and they went to college. What I would like to see, though, is my parents attended the University of Florida at the exact same time, but they never met. I think it'd be really interesting to see, did they cross paths at fraternity parties? Because I know my mom would go to fraternity parties at my dad's fraternity. So I think it'd be really funny to see where they crossed paths, where they could have met but didn't. So
I love that idea. That's a really good idea for a movie.
I know, right? So somebody produce it. I'll gladly watch it.
Do we know what era of Michael Jackson they're going to be showing, from what years?
I think it's just going to be his entire life. The one thing they didn't specify is whether or not they were going to get into the sexual assault allegations, but I think it'll probably be a very comprehensive look at his life. All right, this might be the one good thing for AI in the music industry to partner up for. So Flava Flav just released a new song. That's news I never thought I would report on.
What? Really?
Flava Flav. Yeah, boy.
Public Enemy has put out music over the years. They still exist.
They still put music out?
Yeah.
Mo didn't know about it.
Yeah.
If a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there, did it really fall?
I had no clue.
Well, this is really interesting. So he released a new song. It's called Everywhere Man. It features his Public Enemy partner, Chuck D. And while there's a song in English, it's actually been translated into 27 different languages using AI.
When I say Flavor of Love had a hold on me back in the day,
Yeah.
oh man, I loved that show.
The whole country was into it, I think.
I was obsessed.
It was a big deal.
All right, a former bachelor says he's in the middle of a 6-figure lawsuit about if he's the father of his one-night stands twins. It's on your next eBuzz on The Bert Show.
The Bert Show.